Coach wasn't going to coach forever.
Yeah.
There's no way I could anticipate how the last week has unfolded. Totally had no idea. Just, Coach has always said, hey, I'm not, I'm going to, at some point in time, I'm going to call it quits. And he's, I thought maybe after next season, maybe two more years, and I'm not in any hurry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it just, with Coach's announcement, it just how it happened, and it is what it is. I know this football team is very resilient, and we're going to power through this thing with Miss Cromer's leadership and her vision for Ohio athletics, not only football but all sports. I think that we are going to excel and move this thing to the next level. 17 years, this will be my 17th season coming up, and there were opportunities for me and my family. It's just the timing is so important about where your kids are, to Brooke and I. I know Jimmy Burrow had opportunities, but where was JoJo and his development, and there are guys on our staff, same thing. And so I've seen guys that have come to Athens and have moved on, and it's worked out brilliantly. It wasn't the right time for Tim Albin and Brooke and our family, and here we are, But as you know, in this profession, there's going to be some moving going on. I've been so fortunate. Jimmy's so fortunate. My kids don't even remember Lincoln, Nebraska. They don't remember it. They were there, but they were babies. I mean, Athens is home to them. Athens is home to Joe Burrow, and Ron Collins and his daughters, and Dwayne Dixon, his son and daughter. And I can go on and on. Pete Germano. Their kids were raised in Athens, and so that is really, really neat. It's unique, and it's neat, and it's a positive with our staff and how we use life lessons that the guys that I mentioned and things that we've gone through, and use those life lessons to help the student athlete. And the student athlete they've gone through a lot. We're coming through a pandemic. There are things out there. There are issues out there, and the staff, Coach Solich's staff, we've got a great mixture of some older guys with some stability, with sons and daughters that have grown up there. And we've got a nice mixture of some youth guys that have little ones running around in the office, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
So we've got guys. We have 2 cancer survivors on our staff. I was with Coach Solich when he lost his father. He was with me when I lost my father, and Pete Germano, and we've all shared those things and cried together. And you can't tell me that does not help the student athlete when they go through some tragic things in their lives. And I will look you straight in the eye and tell you, our staff is about the student athlete, and I couldn't be prouder of the things that I just mentioned, and with our guys and what we mean to each other, the roster and each other.
I heard Bill Clark at UAB talk about, his sort of rise, and then all of a sudden you're on the list every year of the wish list, and I think Coach Campbell said something similar at Iowa State. Ultimately, happiness matters, right? With family, as well. It's not all just about ambition, right?
Yeah, you couldn't have said it better. I know, we got a chance to play Coach Clark in the Bahamas Bowl. What a great experience, and from what in my conversation with him, great man, and I know that he's well thought of and done a great job down there at UAB for sure.
I'm curious though about the big move that you did make back in 1999, because I didn't realize this until recently.
Right.
About you get the NAIA championship in just a couple of years, and then all of a sudden you basically started over at a big school.
Right.
What was that like?
Sure. It was interesting. There were some stressful moments, uncertainty. Brooke and I were not married yet, and I took over in '97, and we were 5-5, and then we went 8-3, and then we got, we were on our 3rd year, and the staff was together, and we got things rolling and get hot, and I think we won the last 5 in '98, and then went 13-0. We had I think at one time the longest win streak in the country at any level of football. Okay, so we had it rolling. Is where I'm headed with that, and the opportunity. I would take my staff. We would go to Lincoln, Nebraska. It's about a 5.5 hour drive from Alva, Oklahoma, and I started going up there and you know, learning from what I thought at the time the best coaching staff in college football. Coach Osborne was the head coach. Coach Solich was the associate head coach. Got to know those guys on offense, and then Coach Solich gets the job, and we go on a run, and a graduate assistant job opens up in Lincoln. And I reached out to Coach Solich, and you know, I was age 32, maybe 31, you know, and we had a great visit, and he brought me up. We talked some more, and I ended up getting the job. And I tell you that whole long story because Coach had called, and he kind of hinted to me that this is your job if you want it, you know. And he says, I want you to just make sure you sleep on it, you know, because I'm as a head coach, and we had a lot of returners off that team, you know. And I got to thinking, and I got a little nervous about just what your question's about. How do you do that, you know, with coming off what you just accomplished? And I just looked at it as sometimes you got to take a few steps back to take 10 steps forward, right? And you got to be at the right place at the right time. Sometimes that's a little bit to do with it, but you bring a good work ethic. You treat people the right way with integrity, and things tend to work out for that formula. And look at us today, huh? Right?
Exactly.